Hey guys, Jake from Discover Auto here, and today we're looking at the MG4 XPower. It's a new high-performance variant of the MG4 electric hatchback range. It adds a front electric motor for 300 kilowatts of power, so a pretty serious hot hatch effort. But here's the kicker, it's priced from under $60,000 plus on-road costs. And it's been a long time since Australians have seen 300 kilowatts for under 60 grand. We're big fans of the MG4 because of its good pricing, it's good range, it's comfortable and quiet interior, and it also looks pretty good as well. And plus, the cherry on top of the cake is its excellent driving dynamics. So, is there a catch with this new XPower variant of the MG4 range? Is it a true hot hatch? Can you have your cake and eat it as well? Well, that's what we're here to find out. Jump into the front cabin of the MG4 XPower with me, and you'll see that there are quite a lot of reasons to like this cabin, as we first discovered when we first drove this car. It's well made, it looks good, it's a nice minimalist layout, it's very practical as I said, but if you look a little bit closer, you'll find that there aren't that many detail changes between this and a regular MG4, which is perhaps this car's downfall. So in the XPower you get the same seats, 6-way electrically adjustable as the regular MG4, the top spec models, but instead of full faux leather, you get half faux leather and this kind of Alcantara suede, which feels quite nice. And because it's not full faux leather, they're a lot cooler in summer as well. Other than that, there's a bit of orangey red stitching down here. There's a few performance menus inside the infotainment system, and really that's it. That's the XPower makeover inside. We hope MG makes an XPower R or something like that in the future with sportier details. The XPower's cabin is so similar to the regular MG4 range, it means that it's really practical. So you get these big cup holders at the front of the cabin, though they can be obstructed a bit by the transmission selector, which is a bit annoying. There's a wireless phone charger here. The USB ports for the wide smartphone mirroring are along here, which is a bit annoying again because it's obstructed. But there is a big tray here to put wallets and stuff like that in. There's a little net down here, and of course there's a big box under this center armrest, as well as a large glove box and pretty big door bins in the front. The quality inside the MG4 XPower, as we discovered again with the regular MG4, is reasonable. The quality of the leather on the steering wheel feels really good. It's a nice hexagonal shape, which is kind of unusual in the industry. Only this bit of the dashboard is soft touch though, which is a little bit annoying. But the materials along the doors, while they are hard touch, they do look pretty nice. And you also get some nice suede on the doors as well to uplift the quality a little bit, though some people won't like the extended use of piano black everywhere. It does get smudged pretty easily. Now, center of the MG4's cabin is a 10.25-inch touchscreen with MG's new iSmart infotainment system. It's a pretty well-featured system. It's got features like wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, inbuilt satellite navigation, digital radio, and of course the performance gauges that I spoke about earlier. It also has live services, so you can access an app on your phone, check what the car is, check what its battery percentage is, stuff like that, which is pretty handy, and it also means that you get live traffic for the navigation system. It's MG's latest generation of infotainment system, and on the whole it is pretty good, aside from a few things. There are a few shortcut buttons along the bottom, like a home, the volume, and front and rear demisters, but there's no separate button for the air conditioning climate zone, for example. And some of the buttons on the side are a little bit small, and you have to touch them a couple of times to use them, which can be a little bit annoying when you're trying to use it at speed. Sound quality is average. It's got 6 speakers, but we would like it if there was a premium sound system in here. That would make it sound pretty good. And finally, for the cabin, there is a small driver's display in front. It displays quite a lot of information like trip computer, navigation, song title, and all that sort of stuff. It is pretty difficult to use first up because you use these buttons on the steering wheel, but they have different functions per press. So you have to press this button here to change the menu for the song. Press it again, it's the trip computer. So once you get used to it, it's okay, but initially it is a little bit daunting. But overall, the cabin of the XPower, although there isn't really much to differentiate it from the regular MG4, it is a pretty good place to spend time. As we discovered in the regular MG4, the back seat is one of its strong points because it's practical, it's reasonably spacious for 6-footers such as myself. It's got a good amount of features on offer as well. So you get a USB port here for charging, you get map pockets on both sides with little inserts for charging your phone, which is pretty handy. There's a small little pocket here in the door but there's no armrest and there's no center air vents, which could be a bit annoying for kids. Open the tailgate of the MG4 XPower with me, and you'll see that you get 350 litres of space, which is pretty reasonable in the segment. It's also a relatively practical boot. You get like a little hook on the side, you get a side storage, and there's also a dual level floor. And if you don't like having it in the high position, you just tuck this bit in here and push it down, and you get even more space. Folding the seats down is really easy to do. Just go like that, and when you do so, you've got 1165 litres of space. The regular MG4 range really surprised us and delighted us when we attended its launch earlier in this year, and that's because it's got a fantastic rear-wheel drive platform that was co-developed by IATA Automotive Technology, which is a European automotive engineering company. It's rear-wheel drive, as I said. It's also got a 50-50 split weight distribution, and it's got pretty technical things like a multi-link rear suspension setup, and that means that the MG4 range rides and handles really well for something of this size. The XPower variant of the MG4 range has added to that, however. In addition to the front axle motor, which has joined the rear axle motor in making 300 total kilowatts of power and 600 newton meters of torque, the MG4 XPower has also had retuned suspension, so the front is 25% stiffer, the rear is 10% stiffer than the regular MG4. The steering's been retuned, it's got stiffer anti-roll bars. It's also got larger front and rear brakes, so the front brakes are 345 millimeters big and the rear are 340 millimeters in diameter. They've also got some Continental brake calipers, which gives it a lot better stopping power than the regular car. Now, in terms of handling, ironically, the MG4 XPower is not quite as communicative as its MG4 sibling, and that's because of the front driven axle. It means that when you're powering on, it kind of gives a bit of a front driven bias, which is not quite as nice as the solely rear driven bias that you get in the regular MG4. Of course, it's rear wheel drive, not all wheel drive like this car. So has MG made an all electric hot hatch killer here? Well, not quite. You see, the MG4 is extremely rapid. 3.8 seconds to 100 k's an hour means that you're going to be racing most things and winning off the lights, and it's a pretty good way to lose your license pretty quickly. However, the dynamic package doesn't quite live up to the performance. It could definitely be made a lot stiffer in our opinion. Now, if you're looking for a hot hatch that gives you good levels of communication, a Hyundai i30N runs rings around this car, and the Honda Civic Type R is a lot sharper. Where the MG4 XPower excels, aside from its amazing performance, is that it offers a really good all-round compromise between speed, comfort, and handling. It feels like a Volkswagen Golf GTI or a Golf R in some ways, in that it's so comfortable regularly, but it can be really, really quick as well. We think it's a good compromise between performance, ride, handling, comfort, quietness, and so on. But if you're looking for something a little bit firmer, maybe an i30N or a Civic Type R, or even something like a Golf R will give you more of a thrill behind the wheel. But of course, those cars aren't electric. But as an all-electric hot hatch, the only one that's currently available on the market, the MG4 XPower certainly succeeds. Elsewhere in the MG4 XPower driving experience is pretty positive. The road noise levels are nicely low. There's a little bit of wind noise coming from the A-pillar at highway speeds. And there's also a good range of active safety equipment on board. You get autonomous emergency braking, you get lane keeping assistance, adaptive cruise control with traffic jam assist, auto high beam, driver monitoring, and a pretty detailed 360-degree camera. Overall, we really like the MG4 XPower, and we think that it's a really good addition to the Australian new car market. It offers buyers blistering performance for a pretty good price, and it's also got a good range, quick charging, a pretty good quality interior that's pretty practical, and of course it's an MG, so the after sales program is pretty good as well. It's not perfect, however. We think that it could be a little bit sportier on the outside and the inside. The differences in terms of styling between this and a regular MG4 are probably not far enough, And we think it could have better tyres as well. That would make it a bit more dynamic and a bit more fun to drive. But overall, Australians looking for a new car performance bargain should really look at this MG for XPower because it offers a lot for not a lot of money. Thanks for watching the latest Discover Auto video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you head to our website for more written content.